Marcus Eaton Distribution Plan by James W. Jackson. Who is Marcus Eaton? Marcus Eaton was born in Idaho and began playing guitar at the age of 9. He grew up in a musical family and found inspiration in the outdoors and musicians in mountains where he was born. He has always written his own songs and played his own original music in various incarnations. One of his first bands, Marcus Eaton and the Lobby, was signed to a label in 2002. They released one album and on the label, and he has been releasing music independently ever since then. To date, he has recorded and released 6 original albums, and he played, wrote, and sang on David Crosby's most recent album, Cross, excuse me. Music is his passion, and he has worked diligently to create sounds that are beautiful, inspiring, soulful, and melodic, which connect us to the parts of ourselves that matter most. At present, he primarily plays solo and incorporates a variety of influences to create a unique sonic landscape using looping, instrumental effects, and different performance styles. His latest album, City of Trees, will be released February 1st, 2017, and we are very excited for you to hear it. Achievements: Marcus Eaton's released 6 albums as a solo artist and toured with Tim Reynolds as part of TR3. He also co-wrote David Crosby's 2013 album Cross. Marcus later went on to join the touring band for the album cycle as well. His albums have been well received and reviewed by Premier Guitar magazine, serving to spotlight his musicianship and songwriting talent. In 2002, Marcus also opened for Dave Matthews Band at the Gorge Amphitheater in George, Washington, which is where he met Tim Reynolds. Marcus then toured with Reynolds for his 2005-2006 solo tours. The band Marcus Eaton and the Lobby released an album in 2003 entitled The Day the World Awoke on RCA Uninhibited. Chapter 1, The Product. City of Trees Live. Marcus is attempting to reinvigorate his career by relaunching himself and getting back to the basics with both his songwriting and his execution. The EP will launch in both digital and physical formats. It will sit alongside his 2 existing releases on Spotify and serve to kindle excitement with his innovation and live renditions of studio tunes. The release includes 6 tracks, culled from his classic first 2 releases with Marcus Eaton in the Lobby. The album was recorded live at the Knitting Factory in Boise, Idaho in 2016 and will release in all formats on February 1st, 2017. A deluxe edition will be issued on both CD and vinyl, with an exclusive new studio track from the Lobby, their first in 13 years. Downloads will be available through Spotify and the iTunes Store. A pricing comparison, because I have selected the open model. Excuse me. Because I've selected the open model and made the 6 core tracks available for free online, we included a bonus track and deluxe editions to drive sales of the physical copies. My comparisons are on the market in the market in terms of pricing are Built to Spill's 2015 released Untethered Moon, Tim Reynolds' Like Some Kind of Alien Invasion from 2015, and Leftover Salmon's 25 Live from 2015 as well. We chose to go with the competitive-based pricing based on the fact that we're using the open model and driving towards limited editions, which both Built to Spill and Tim Reynolds are known for. Comparison to Tim Reynolds. Tim Reynolds is an innovative guitarist, most notably known for his work with Dave Matthews. Tim's style of playing attracted Marcus to him in the late 90s, as Marcus had heard one of Tim's solo albums after hearing him perform the 1996 Dave Matthews and Tim Reynolds release live at Luther College. It was 6 years later when Marcus was to perform at the Gorge in George, Washington during Dave Matthews Band's annual 3-night stand there in 2002 that he got the attention of Reynolds, which led to Marcus joining tours as an opening act for Reynolds in 2003 and 2005, and also 2006. The market for Boise slash Idaho musicians has shown that Built to Spill can capitalize national success, and given his affiliation with Reynolds and the fan base that surrounds Dave Matthews Band, success is imminent. Reynolds uses competition-based pricing, so that's what I decided to do, and go that route. Due to the fact that most of our revenue is going to be generated off the sale of physical product and our adherence to the open modern model, I decided to go with the competition-based pricing, and upon early review, it appears as though we will be able to turn a profit and use the digital downloads as a secondary stream of income while we build a regional fan base. I was able to secure great pricing through a local distribution service, which will allow us to leverage profits and add value to the special editions of the product as well, which has a much higher profit margin in comparison to the standard edition. Chapter 2, Manufacturing. We chose to go with Crave Dog, which is based in Portland, Oregon. Will handle all manufacturing of the CDs and vinyl pressings and regional distribution. They also can handle t-shirt manufacturing and printing, which is the bundled product with the special edition. Distribution deal. We're going to focus on the two major local record stores in these areas. The network of everyday music stores throughout Seattle and Portland will facilitate the initial physical release, as well as the record exchange in Boise, which also enables us to utilize their online marketplace as well. I will leave Marcus' current aggregation services in place as he's offered to pay for them himself. We will supplement his current distribution channels and bolster these with enhanced social media in order to leverage increased traffic. The release will sit alongside his other releases in each of these stores. There are 12 stores in Idaho, Oregon, and Washington for everyday music, and one location for the record exchange that will all carry the release. The special edition will only be available online. Fans can download the music for free, sans the bonus track on Marcus's website, and then purchase the special edition. Marcus's fans and his demographic would be, they would be a fan of Dave Matthews Band, Sister Hazel, Jacko Pearson, Blues Traveler, and Spin Doctors, and any other band that came out of the wetlands scene in the 90s. We will drive marketing towards those fans located in the Pacific Northwest. And he describes a distinct advantage for Marcus, as the scene here is rich with coffee shop acts in comparison to other acts to come out of Boise in the early millennium, such as Rebecca Scott. Marcus has found success in his core market. The age range for his fan is due to the fact that the fan base has followed him out of the college scene, mostly Boise State, Idaho State, and followed him as they spread out across the country. Street teams are to be created around this release, as it represents a sort of best of, to push his music back to college radio, a fertile ground for independent artists. Thus, a Marcus Eaton fan would be a fan of Dave Matthews Band, or perhaps Built to Spill, with go to multiple shows a year, buy and even prefer live releases over studio material, and appreciate the musicianship that Marcus, as a guitarist, has to offer. They were also the coffee shop, home, or coffee house, home bar crowd who enjoy smaller shows, but could also drive Marcus to larger arenas as well. Marcus fans will be settled into their daily lives, just as so many DMB fans have. They will primarily be college graduates and technology savvy. Having come from the Horde generation, they will still appreciate the fandom of the large shows and festivals. They will be driven by product placement in things they use or buy every day, which is why I have chosen to market a wine and coffee with Marcus Eaton branding. This will also coincide well with the album The Day the World Awoke, no pun intended. This new release will be positioned in coffee shops in Boise, Portland, and Seattle. Chapter 5, building the fan base. Media contacts. You can see here I have several media contacts, although I'm still in the process of getting a hold of most of them and them responding. I tend to work with local promoters in Boise, Seattle, and Portland, but I do want to stretch out and give Marcus some national exposure. Chapter 6, retailers. In terms of lifestyle accounts, we're going to target, store kiosks at New Seasons and Whole Foods, and then of course have Marcus participate in the Tree Fort Music Fest, which is also a network of coffee shops throughout Idaho. Stumptown Coffee will, endorse Marcus in terms of a coffee, perhaps name a coffee after him or something that they'll serve in their stores and through their network of stores, which include Dawson Taylor. Of course, Tree Fort also serves Stumptown, and then all of the places across Portland that serve Stumptown and in Seattle as well. But the main focus is the Whole Foods network, as it is a nationwide chain. We're also going to go into the local papers again. Of course, the Boise Weekly's written extensively about Marcus. We'll also have ads in the Willamette Weekly, and probably be in conjunction with the everyday music flyers and things of that nature. And then, of course, the network of shows and the coffee shop tours will all be advertised in the Seattle Weekly, Willamette Weekly, and Boise Weekly. There might also be interviews with Marcus in conjunction with that. Digital retailers will leave his Spotify in place, Amazon in place, his iTunes in place, and supplement that with the record exchange as well in their online distribution. Direct distribution. Obviously, we'll go use this mock-up website that I created as an aggregate to his main website, specifically driven towards this particular release. We'll run contests from this particular release and also drive the relaunch of The Day the World Awoke from the Bandzoogle site as well, as he likes to use his personal website or the larger website for his promoting of his current album. So we'll facilitate behind that as well. The video commercial that I created will simply run on his YouTube channel. We might also run it on public access stations throughout Portland, Seattle, and Boise as well. His social media campaign will bolster his Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube channels to try to get him above his 2,000 views on YouTube. And then his Twitter followers look like they're hovering around 2,100. He has 6,500 total tweets. That's going to change. His website will also be linked to his Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, which it is not currently. We will also bolster his Facebook page with daily updates and posts and live streams as well. The social media strategy, because the bulk of Marcus Eaton's revenue is coming from his physical product, we are going to host a show specifically for this release where the five live tracks on the album will be performed live, with the Lobby joining Marcus on stage for the first time in 13 years. This will occur at the Knitting Factory in Boise. Fans who received the email invite for the release of the album will be entered into a drawing to meet Marcus and receive a personal guitar lesson if they play guitar. Every fan attending the show will receive a free digital copy of the new album, Visions of Truth, via a voucher that we will hand out for an iTunes voucher. We will also drive revenue to his YouTube channel by setting up an AdWords campaign to leverage any revenue that's driven there, as well as a Facebook advertising campaign. This is the splash page mock-up for City of Trees Live. It will be featured via the AdWords campaign, via ad space on YouTube, recommended channels, in the white space of Google, and some other various areas in order to generate revenue and drive sales. The newsletter campaign for Marcus Eaton. Marcus Eaton has chosen to use MailChimp. A newsletter will be sent out to fans once a week, pushing them to stores in order to hit sales numbers. Fans will be offered special promos and offers. The initial release of City of Trees will see fans be entered into a contest to win tickets to the kickoff concert. They will be able to receive a personal note from Marcus and a guitar lesson over lunch and the following day. Marcus will continue to use this medium to continually interact with fans about future releases. As you can see, there's the mock-up of it. Chapter 7, Release Strategy. Or 11, excuse me. So the release strategy, as you can see, I laid it out here on a calendar. I'll go over it now. Pre-release December 1st through 7th, 2016. We'll send out street teams in Portland, Boise, and Seattle. December 8th through 14th, 2016, we'll begin the coffee shop marketing campaign at Treefort, Stumptown, Dawson Taylor, Ava Rosteria, and others. December 15th through 30th, we'll meet with store owners at Whole Foods and New Seasons to set up end cap displays before the holiday rush. January 13th through the 25th, Marcus begins his coffee shop tour and coffee endorsement is announced. February 8th, 2017, release of Stumptown endorsed coffee for Marcus to coincide with the conclusion of his coffee shop tour. We might push that into coincide in January with his the actual coffee shop tour, so people can drink the coffee while they listen to him. February 1st, of course, is the album release with the Knitting Factory concert, and February 15th through March 1st, he'll embark on a college campus and coffee shop tour as well, extending that. So there will be tour dates after the release of the coffee. Chapter 12, Financial Strategy. As you can see, due to the sale of physical copies and the deal that we got with Crave Dog, it looks like we're going to be not insanely, but profitable without investing any additional monies, to get this rolling. I think Marcus is going to just invest the initial investment to get it rolling. So anywhere between 20 and 25,000 probably for touring and the initial pressing of the album. And I chose to go with the open model for Marcus because this would allow me to gain revenue of the limited edition releases, not only for this release but for future as well. He has a fairly small fan base, so given the capital that can be gained from this deal with Crave Dog, we have chosen to build a business model off of that product, and that is gained. The revenue that is gained will be reinvested in the profits back into the expenses of touring, with a net profit of $13,292.91 off the initial pressing. After the 20% has been paid for distribution, this money will be reinvested into advertising and touring. For a yearly cycle, assuming no fall off, the profits would be approximately 4x. Potential endorsements, of course, like I said, Stumptown Coffee will also approach Deschutes Brewery later on, and Willamette Valley Winery in terms of product endorsements as well. Maybe a special brew and a special wine, to coincide with the future Marcus release. Future opportunities. Again, Marcus will continue to develop multiple streams of income through product endorsements and sales of physical product, perhaps to include some sort of ancillary products bundled with his music in the future as revenue permits. We will continue to stretch out into new markets and utilize the artist's already strong international fan base. The point of this release is to reignite his U.S. fan base, gain traction and revenue, and launch him into the international spotlight as on a major tour track.